What's up, everybody? It's That Anime Show. I'm Terri Doty with
J. Michael Tatum.
And
Chris Burnett. Hey!
What's up? Yay!
Anime Show.
Not the Manime Show, not this week.
No,
Brian
not
Massey's not here anymore.
Yeah, speaking of which, I do not envy you at all, Chris, having to follow that act, because that's the Massey session is going to cast a long shadow.
We know Chris, I'd say pretty well, and we're just like, hey, don't fuck up.
Yeah.
Don't fuck
I
up.
listened to Brian Massey's show in the comforting apartment of mine and was like, oh God. Why did you call me to come in the week after him?
Well, I don't plan it this way.
We needed a light day. You know?
Right. You needed to wind down, so you were like, let's bring Chris in. Yeah.
No, really, Tatum needed someone he could cut off and interrupt.
I will never have that so long as you're my co-host.
I'm not even going to pretend to be offended. Ever.
That's a point of pride with you. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It was, I was saying right before we started, I listened to 3 of them. And that was the one that Tatum was the quietest in. He had met his match.
Massey subdued me. It was like a vocal wrestling match, and he totally won.
It's funny when you listen to other shows, and you're like, where was I going to go with that before one of us cut off each other? I'm like, where was I going to go with that? But with Brina's, I didn't realize it until Steven was mixing it. I'm like, I don't remember saying that. And Steven's like, because it's Brina. I'm like, we kind of sound alike.
Yeah, certainly.
I'm an unrefined Brina.
certain things, yeah.
Well, just namely whenever we're, like, teasing you. That's where I hear it the most, but yeah. You and Miss Polencia.
Yes.
You guys have worked together a few times, yeah.
I know. It's like, even when you had asked me for my bio, I was like, I went on and I looked at the show, and then I saw Brina, and I was like, she's everywhere! And so I tried to reference her in my bio as well, but yeah, we're like eternally linked. It's awesome. I would not have it any other way.
Yeah, well, I obviously
great,
met you during my my internship, and we didn't even get introduced.
No.
We like, you just took me and him and like Bruce Elliott and Will or Casey Clark to Chili's, and no one introduced me and Chris.
No, I mean...
So me and Chris just finally went like, I'm Terri.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah.
And it's like, so you're playing Romeo.
And
That's
we shared
cool.
a chicken finger.
We did.
I remember that now. Because I remember, Casey Clark and I, that same dinner, we were having a really heated discussion about something political, and like...
With Casey?
And really, yeah. Well, no, he and I agreed. We were just getting really passionate about whatever it was we were speaking of.
And Bruce just kind of focused on his food.
There was a rather crotchety old couple sitting at the table over that were listening to us and not happy. You could just tell. Because Casey turned to me at somebody, he's like, I think we're really pissing off the old people over there. And I'm like, are we?
You can't be mad at Chili's. I mean, I can.
Everyone was
But it's
probably
because I'm at a
so
fucking
quiet.
Chili's.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it till someone tagged you guys in a photo that you guys do GameStop stuff together.
Yeah, we do. It's weird because... it's been awesome because everybody knows who Brina is, and not very many people know.
I go, yes! Google
so
Brina!
Somebody's like, Brina's opening GameStop, and I'm like, yeah. So
It's Romeo and Juliet!
yeah, it's awesome. We got like anime crossover going on, you know?
Yeah.
So we're gonna next just take over the world!
Yeah. That'll happen.
No. But
Brina might do it. I don't know. You might just want to tag along for that ride.
I'm just gonna hold on to her coattails. Take me with
Don't
you.
let go!
When I was at Anime Boston several weeks ago, the first cosplayer I'd ever seen dressed up like Juliet showed up there, and she like was in my autograph line.
Oh, nice.
She had the awesome, her first, in the show, her first girl outfit, when she first.
Right.
Like she had the armor and shit.
Yeah. No.
Or the red whirlwind.
It wasn't the. It was her first dress that Juliet wore, and she's got and she had an iris, the one that Romeo gave her for her birthday.
Awesome.
There at the little cliff side or the ruins, And so yeah, it was really, really funny because from afar I had no idea who she was cosplaying because it's such an understated outfit, you know, and she didn't have to have a wig. She had the right color hair, and she really looked the part.
And you didn't recognize her without her dragon steed.
I didn't.
Right.
Yeah, without her dragon steed, I didn't recognize. But I haven't seen a Romeo yet, and if I see a Romeo, believe me,
Romeo would
we'll
be
get a picture.
I would love to see that wig or that hair because it's got to be all up in your face.
Oh yeah.
Or that could be Mercutio.
Romeo had his own stylist
or Tybalt,
that'll follow him around.
But yeah, there were well, like we met during Romeo and Juliet, but then I mean, got to work with you on Big Wind Up, where you're a little more sarcastic.
Yeah.
Easy me.
Yeah,
It's
you know,
fun.
change it up.
Mental.
No, the great Terri Doty and the great Michael Tatum are the bomb.
Biggity.
Basically, because I was like knocking on the door of Funimation for like 2 years until Romeo and Juliet, and then Michael and Bruce like just
It was so funny because I'll tell you right now, and I love Bruce to death, and that was his first gig as a director.
I haven't seen Bruce in a while. Have you murdered him?
No, not at all.
We still have recordings
Bruce is
to do.
alive and well. I saw him the other
He's
day.
alive and well.
He
I
is
did
alive
lunch with
and
him
well
the other day, and
handsome as
Bevins
ever.
was there, so I have a witness.
Bevins isn't a witness.
But you know,
Goodbye,
whenever you have two directors working on a show. And you know this, you know, the casting is difficult as it is when it's just you and your line producer trying to figure out who's going to play what.
There's a lot of paper, rock, scissors over.
Yeah, there is.
And
because everyone comes in, and just about everyone on Romeo and Juliet had a really strong showing, so we were really kind of going, oh man, we've got so many people to choose from. It was all a matter of just who do we combine with whom. And Bruce and I, you know, didn't disagree. That sounds rather strong. We just we would constantly kind of go, well, yeah, that's a good idea, but what about
everybody
this?
hears something different.
And it was always, we would go back and forth on who to be what, but you were, you were really the only cast member, I think, that I can recall now, thinking about it, that we instantly went, yeah, well, that's definitely going to be Romeo. And really, we had a lot of strong contenders for it, and you were kind of, I say you're why Brina got hired, but it's because we listened to Brina, who I was like, this is, in my head, Brina's absolutely it, and Bruce was like, well, I think you're right, but let's hear it with Burnett's, and so we put your two auditions together, and we just kind of it was great, because after hours of pacing and listening to everybody for every freaking role, it seemed like, it was a stressful process for me, because it was the first time I'd ever held auditions. And by the time it was all over and done with, we finally, all right, we have to decide on who the star-crossed lovers are. We have to. This is today.
It's kind of important.
And yeah, it's kind of essential. And we had Will cut up your delivery and hers.
Was it Will or was it Casey?
It was Will. Casey came in later.
Okay.
Casey came in on the second contract and then after that he and Will shared it. But yeah, Will had in charge of the auditions. Will Schultz. As we called him, the real Will.
The real Will.
But no, it was funny. Like we paced back and forth, and finally we got to the two of you and listened to the two of you together in combination, and we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, here they are. That's it. And then I got to call Brina and be like, I texted her I called her and I was like, and she was waiting by the phone. I know she was. She'll deny it, but she was totally waiting by the phone, and because she knew we were going up there the day to make final decisions. And she knows I like to call people, you know, and so
I got that from you, by the way.
Yeah. I like to do it. You know, it's fun. Brina did it to me the first time I got my lead role.
It is fun to get that call instead of just get called in and even you get into the booth and you still don't know who you are.
Yeah, a lot of times that happens.
Who am I?
So I call her and Bruce is like, you should say this when you call her. So I called her up and she's like, hello. And I'm like, is this the Capulet resident? She's like, no shit. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. And she went a little ballistic and it was great.
Brina?
And then she calmed down. I was like, that's great. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Wow.
And then I didn't get to call because I didn't have your number at the time.
That's all right.
You grew over Romeo and Juliet.
I like to hear the story because for me, when I look back on that, I just think about how naive and egotistical I must have appeared, because I remember showing up at the audition and you're like, great, Chris Burnett, what are you reading today, Chris? And I was like, I'm reading Romeo. Hello. I mean, and I remember you and Bruce going, oh, great, we haven't had anybody do that yet today. And I was like,
Yeah.
idiots. I mean, why would you not read for the lead? You know?
I love
That's
jokes.
And then I look back and I'm like,
not
God.
how I remember that happening. You came in and we're like, oh, cool, someone's going to read for Romeo. Awesome, finally, because no one had dared tackle it before. You were one of the first.
Well, that's what I
if
say.
not
It's
the
so
first to
naive,
read
you
it.
know, just, yeah, I'll just read for Romeo. Not a
Read for
big
Romeo,
deal.
I mean, duh.
I love when you joke and you don't realize, you're like, you don't know me that well. Never mind.
Well, that's funny because I always imagined the casting process being, you know, you and Bruce in a small dark room, lighting cigarettes and
there was plenty of
arm
that.
wrestling and you know.
This is terrible for the equipment.
We spent 2 days deciding on the cast, and part of it we went out to Bevan's house. Because
Bevins is a great little medium.
He's like, come out to the house. I'll be there with you to help decide. Because Bruce and I were really having a hard time, not agreeing. We're just having a hard time deciding for ourselves, let alone coming to an accord as to who should be what. Because we had so many. I mean, we auditioned for like 6 days. And I think we had something like over 150 people easily.
Did
come
you have
in.
people also submit stuff via email?
Yeah, we had Brina had to do that because she was so busy finishing up School Rumble out at Okatron that she couldn't come in. And I was like, you have to come in. And she was like, I can't. I was like, all right. Well, here's what you're gonna do. I'm gonna send you this, and here's how I want you to read it. I was like, you're gonna be awesome. You have to, because I really wanted her to have a shot. And she she sent me her file, and I was like, okay, that's good. Okay. Do it one more time, and like this, and so I kept calling her, like, okay, one more time, and because she's out at Okatron, she can send it and record it and send it like half an hour. So I'm like, okay, one more, and she kept going, damn it, Tatum! And but in the end, it was good. But
That's awesome.
Fun.
I had met her too that was the first time I had met her was at School Rumble at Okatron. So when you told me she had been cast, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like,
What's funny, I told her that she was playing Juliet, and she was like, well, who's playing Romeo? And I told her, well, we didn't know, for sure yet, and that's just because we hadn't had a chance to call you and find out whether you could. We knew it was going to be you. But I didn't want to tell anybody else who anybody else was going to be because, wanted
Then
to wait.
they're going to be like, hey, congrats! You're like, what?
And so once I told her it was going to be you, like, the next day, and she was like, oh my God! I texted her. She's like, so do you know who Romeo's going to be? And I'm like, yeah, Chris Burnett. Sent her a text. She writes back, oh my God, I love that guy!
Yeah.
With a big heart. I was like, oh, thank God.
what sweet karma, because I ended up doing the same thing. They were like, I was like, who's the co-host of Game Stuff? They were like, Brina. Oh my God, I love that girl. It was like...
Well, and the two of you have such a great chemistry together. It really is awesome. It was such getting to direct that show was really kind of the pinnacle of my career as a director up here. I think it was such a great experience for all of us. I think.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those things where you don't know, as it's happening, you don't appreciate it for what it is. You don't know how great the moment is. It's kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to compare it to high school or something, or a good time or a bad time. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know how great it is till it's over, and you look back and you're like, "That was like amazing. I should have like really."
No one thinks that about high school.
No. High school's miserable.
White knuckle right through hell.
But
4
everybody,
years of shrill, shrieking fraud.
I mean, as much as I enjoyed the interaction between you and Brina, what I really enjoyed was your interaction with Sean Hennigan. That was really awesome.
Did you never met him in person, did you?
I didn't ever meet him. I met a different. I think I met Sean Teague one time at like a different.
Well,
Sean.
yeah, they're very different.
Very
Hey,
different.
how's it going?
Yeah. Well, I remember one day I was out at Chewy's. There was a random snow day in Texas. It never snows. And for some reason, my wife and I went to Chewy's, and all of Funimation was at this Chewy's in Dallas. And I was like,
We all
what's
got the
going
memo.
on? And why didn't I get invited?
I'm
But
Romeo,
that was where I
damn
met
it.
Sean Teague there, but no, I never got to meet Sean Hennigan.
It's your father.
Yeah.
I just remember the very first reaction Romeo has to his father saying Romeo was like you just reacted
Yeah,
Like a
I was like,
whimper.
to hearing Sean Hennigan, and
Whoa.
we were like, keeping that's what we're keeping. And even well on into the series, after you got really, you were well in
Yeah.
Romeo's skin, it would still scare the shit out of you to hear
yeah.
Sean Hennigan
I was like,
get angry.
who is that guy? He's awesome.
And he's such a nice guy, but one of my favorite stories about things that he would make Will or I or Casey, as the case might have been, because like I said, Will and Casey shared the contract, everything after the first 4
We'll see.
episodes. And yeah, we'll see.
Casel.
Casel. they were like two-headed beasts. And but it was funny because I think it was Will That Night. It was the episode, one of my favorite episodes where you get to see Montague's backstory, and he kills Mercutio's father. He kills Sonny Straight's character, and
Sonny Strait.
Yeah, and it's a great, powerful scene, and it's all intercut with Mike McFarlane's brilliant monologue as Tybalt talking about how much he hates Montague and ending up being a lot similar to him, and but after he stabs him, he stabs Sonny Strait with his sword, he's draped in curtains, and he's just, and he pulls it out, and Sean was like, let's put a little reaction there.
Just a little
reaction, because it's hard, he goes into this just totally nice, normal human being is going, well, when you stab something like that, that deeply, the muscles clench around it, and it's actually harder to pull the blade out than it is to go in. So there really should be a reaction there, and I'm like, let's go ahead and get that. And Will's looking at me like, this man scares me.
You told me that because you told me that story because apparently, during Rin, Daughters of Mnemosyne. That's how you pronounce it, by the way, not Mnemosyne.
Yes, Mnemosyne.
It's the end of episode 5 where Rin gets sliced upward, and Colleen goes like, or something like that, and I went, no, sweetie, you got sliced up, your lungs are gone, and she's like, so what? I'm like an asthma attack. She's, yes, thank you, God, how do you not know that? It didn't go down exactly like that, but she was just kind of like, how do you
know that?
Funimation, educating people on slicing others open 1%.
But then in another show, like the show we can't talk about, I was directing Greeley, and he gets hurt, and I'm like, no, you're getting sliced upward, like.
Here we go again.
But it was from the back, and he's like, well, just do it! I will go in there and do it! I'll go in there.
I have years of animating, slicing experience. Trust me. Wow.
But yeah, that was. But Sean Hennigan is such a joy to work with, and I got to meet him on Juose, which was like
very accomplished film actor.
Yeah, and an accomplished stage actor as well. I mean, he's really an incredible guy, really neat. I mean, just everything he knows. And we would have, we'd banter between takes a lot because he was so quick that we would have a lot of time to spare. And he was just a fascinating guy. I really, really like him. And want to see him on stage at some point. But yeah, it's a shame you never met him because it's probably good because he would have been. He's so not like Montague at all in real life.
Sometimes I like that not actually meeting the other person because you kind of have. It's sometimes for me it's easier to see the character as the character, and then if I meet the person, I kind of see the person more than the actual.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I preferred. I didn't really want to meet him, because it's that voice,
Oh, it's a great voice.
I always forget that as a director. I mean, starting out, I've really got more experience as a director than as an actor, so I really forget that you guys don't really ever meet each other. So, hanging out with Josh Greeley and Jeremy on the couch, and they're like, "Have we met?" I'm like, you guys have done how many shows together?
Yeah.
Yeah, but. It's not like we did them together.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Well, I don't think I'd seen Brina till we got onto the second disc, it was a long way into it.
Yeah, because
I was like, hey,
you were mostly. I think you were mostly ahead of her in recording, right? Because I don't think she was always. One of the two, I think, and later on she got to the point where she was always done first, and she was like, "Yeah, I guess he sounds good. I don't know, I haven't heard it." And then when she finally heard it, it was awesome, But yeah, that show was so cool. I still go back and watch it. And it's got some of my favorite acting moments in it. I mean, on your part. I mean, and
you've obviously seen it completely, yes, Chris?
No.
No?
You haven't seen the whole thing yet? Oh.
I watched the first disc, and this is kind of just one of my things in general at Funimation. I don't ever watch them.
Really?
Really.
Now, why is that?
I can't enjoy it. I get through it, and I start thinking about, I wish I would have done this differently, and I wish that I could go back and re-record this or try something different here. I don't know. I can't enjoy it. So I just
do that myself because,
and I'm the same way with my film stuff. I will only watch small snippets of my film stuff to just make like a reel or something, and then I put it away, you know. Mm-hmm. But that's
it's hard. It's hard to watch your own stuff. I have the same problem. I as a director, it's less of a problem than
now. If I directed it, I better watch it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I always watch everything I do, but it's easier to watch stuff I've directed as opposed to stuff I've been in as an actor, because you're so much more vulnerable when it's you playing a character. Mm-hmm. Whereas a director can kind of hide behind the actors, you know, at least in your own head while you're watching it, going, oh, that was good, but you know, that was crap. Oh, that's my fault that it's crap. But as an actor, it took me a long time to get to a point where I could actually watch anything I'd done for longer than just like a couple snippets to remind myself that it was real, that I had actually done it. But I've gotten to a point now where I do. It's hard to, you know, find the time, but I try to watch things through at least twice, because the first time, you're like, oh, why did I read it like that? Or, oh, that was a kind of awkward.
It's hard to separate yourself from the performance, and like I actually just sit back and watch it as, you know, just a fan and enjoy it. Yeah. I've never been able to do that, you know?
It takes a couple of times to watching the same show to do that, because I find the first time you're kind of still in actor mode, and you're watching it like you're waiting for the director to come in and tell you, okay, cool, that was close, but one more take with this, and so you're kind of, you watch it with, you know, with your gut just clenched.
Yeah, you got that knot in your stomach.
You know,
oh.
But after a while it gets easier, and I've learned a lot about myself as an actor by watching my stuff and being able to kind of detach myself, which has taken a while to do, but I think it's improved me.
I was having dinner with Greeley and Chris Ayres, which is a very weird treat for me, because I knew Greg first just from Big Wind Up and meeting him, I think, on like Kenichi season 1 while I was interning. And he was talking about an actor being very self-conscious because there was a lot of negativity about them being cast, and you know, and Chris was like, first of all, stop reading the forums. Because you're going to find negativity even if you did fantastic. He's like, and second, you know, if no matter what, like, I am the director on this show, I approve that take. You may have done it, but I'm the one that said it was okay. So if you're gonna hate anybody, don't hate yourself, hate me.
Well, that's the thing. Chris Ayres and I have done several directors panels together at cons we've been to, and he's always said, and he says this in every single panel of its kind that I've seen him in. He goes on to say that, you know, he's like, hey, to all you fans out there that want to talk crap about an actor's performance, you know, don't blame the actor, blame the director, because it's the director who's ultimately responsible. And he's like, and I say this as a director, not an actor. You know, as a director, though, I take full responsibility. If you don't think something works, then that was my choice. The actor was just doing their job by doing what I told them to do. Yeah. And so, and he's very, you know, I love Chris Ayres. He's one of my favorite actors.
Guys are kind of awesome.
The Ayres brothers are beautiful people, but yeah, Chris Ayres and I just, like, I met him pretty early on in my career, actually. We did, he played the main bad guy, Sweet Tengu in Speedgrapher. And I played one of the sort of villain of the week guys.
Villain of the week.
Villain of the week. He was in the first 4 episodes, and he quickly perishes. But it was a creepy part. It was third thing I ever really did. And it was very new territory, because Bevins was like, okay, you've been playing this nice guy for the past 8 months. Now you're going to play a total bastard who's like, first scene, he breaks a little girl's arm, you know, because she can't dance. It's horrible, right?
I totally would have thought for you for that role.
You go from William
or no?
I
went from like Rikichi in Samurai 7 to who was like this nice sort of like, oh God, you know, nervous guy to being like this just egotistical bastard who's like, you know, oh, who are you? And he's evil and murderous and everything, and he's creepy, you know, he's got like these powers, and he's always wearing this gimp outfit whenever he's killing people. It's freaky. But it was fun.
Again.
Yeah.
And then,
much like real life.
You know,
right?
and I got to hear a lot of Chris Ayres in that part, in the part of Sweet Tengu, because they have several scenes together, and I've never met him before, but I'm hearing this voice going, man, that's like, God, what a voice. Jesus Christ, that's awesome. And like, you know, he was Houston-based, so I never really met him. And then we were at a con together, and Bevins was like, "Hey, we're doing this panel on Speedgrapher. You should totally come up here. You know, we'll show some of your scenes." I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then he's like, "Oh, and by the way, Chris Ayres really wants to meet you." And I'm like, "Chris Ayres wants to meet me?" Really?
Be like, hey, fucker.
Really? Yeah. And I was like, why does he want to meet me? Because he's really impressed with your performance as Shirogane. And I'm like, No, he's not. You're just fucking with me. And no,
You're still like that, though.
he wanted to meet me. I kind of am, because it's weird. But I got to meet Chris Ayres, and he was like, I just wanted to shake your hand. It was a great performance, and I was really impressed. I really hope you do this
Nice.
a lot. I hope you do this more. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And it was so funny, because he's such a little guy. He's such a cute little imp of a man.
Well, I mean, he's not that short, but like if I hugged
Compared
him,
to
I
me.
could drown him in my chest. Like,
Oh my!
like, not to say that I've ever been like, sweet, come here, but
But he's totally like his
Motorboat
voice.
hug.
His voice is 7'5", and and he's like whatever height he is. But I met him, and I'm like, oh, it's just not what I would expect. I would expect someone taller than me, because his voice is so authoritarian, so commanding. It'd be like if you ever met Sean Hennigan and found out that he was only like 4 feet tall or
Right.
something, and like fat and bald, which he's not, by the way. He's actually he's a pretty well-built gentleman. He's fairly tall, but he kind of looks like you'd expect him to look. To be honest with you,
The voice matches.
that's
voice
always so funny
matches
about
his
meeting
face.
any like voice actor. I don't know. But like meeting Greg, because I got very close to Greg during a Big Wind Up and all that stuff. So we finished Big Wind Up. Steven and I got married. We had a zombie-themed wedding, if everybody doesn't remember that.
Oh, I've seen the pictures.
Yes, but
it was wonderful.
there was an instant where I was recording Greg on something else, show that cannot be named, and Chris was up there, and Chris found me. You're Terri. I'm like, yeah, and it wasn't like oh, you did great work, blah blah blah. It's like, you had a zombie themed wedding. Oh my god, I love you. And we've been friends ever since.
How does that work? Do people just do you show up in costume or?
No, I mean, I told, nobody was really comfortable with them. They're like, well, no, seriously, like, what's the dress code? I'm like, whatever you want. I do not care.
Oh, that is so awesome.
And,
was
yeah,
nice.
and,
What did you wear? What did you wear?
I wore like a t-shirt.
You wore a
and
t-shirt with a
jeans.
blazer, and
Yeah,
you even
when
said,
the
like, I
blazer
got-
would,
You
like,
didn't
got
zombie
taken
it out? I mean, no
No,
toilet paper around the head
No,
or anything?
I
No,
didn't zombie it out.
Clarine is like, oh, I'm gonna dress like a zombie, but it was so damn hot. She's like,
It was
I'll dress
really
up. Oh god, but no, we had actual zombies, like, just bugging our guests. Too much sometimes. Clarine's like, you need to get this guy off.
Not
I'm
now.
like, okay.
I'm in the middle of vows. I got married in Mexico, and I
Dude,
didn't.
those pictures are beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I forget
you
that
seen
everybody can see,
Yeah.
see wedding now on Facebook. I forget about that.
Well, your wife
but we
is
had somebody.
gorgeous.
Thank you.
wife's
Thank
dress
you.
is
You are a
awesome
lucky,
and all
lucky
that.
man.
Thank you.
In case you didn't know. Your wife's kind of pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it just to make sure.
Did you know that?
She is gonna listen to this and just be like, I have to meet these people. I love them.
We love her already.
You go to Funimation
I mean,
all the
okay,
time,
okay,
hang out with those people. They are
I'll
perfect.
say she's a pretty lucky gal herself.
Thank you.
I
Thank you,
guess.
Tatum.
But
But they had people serving cocktails to people during the ceremony. Like I remember turning around, like you had to hold the microphone, and I saw like so I don't know if it was like I don't know who it was, but I saw like a finger go up, like yeah, and I'll have one more. Like, and people were ordering margaritas in the middle of the ceremony. I'm like,
If it
yo.
wasn't you, you're like, more.
I'm like, what about the groom?
Hold your peace. Everyone's like, I want. Oh no,
Yeah.
you're fine. I'm fine with them getting married. I just
Los
would like another gin and
tequilas,
tonic,
por
please.
favor.
Yeah, I'm just like, while we're taking orders, let's talk to the bride and groom here and get them a cocktail.
The bar shall remain open.
He got that from Steven's birthday was in February, and Steven had never been to medieval times, and he's a big weapons freak and all that stuff. And we had an in because the voice actor up here is also a knight.
Yes.
So
Are
we're
you
like,
serious?
And
yeah.
a really good night
Who?
too.
Chris Luce.
Chris Luce.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Which
he's
night? Do you know?
awesome.
Well,
He's-
he could be any night.
Any of
Oh, so they switch him up?
Switch nights,
Yeah.
but that particular night, he was like the winning
No,
night.
he
the
actually
knight's
asked
charge.
The
us.
Blue
he's like,
Knight
what
always
night do you
ruins me,
wanna
but-
be? Like, what night do you want to be? Because we want you to sit in our section. And he was very playing favoritism with us. He like threw Tatum a carnation. He gave me the Queen of Love and Beauty
Yes.
Lucky.
fashion.
Yeah.
But they're doing the like, welcome to medieval times, and blah, blah, blah. And just so everyone knows, the bar shall remain open.
That was the funniest thing I've ever heard. Was like whoever the MC was. It's great costumes and everything, and it was quite a show. I hadn't been
gift shop
before.
was really awesome.
Medieval Times is great. Oh, awesome.
It's fun. We had a waiter that kept
kept
going
saying,
like, it's like, here you go, here's some dragon eggs. They taste a lot like potatoes. And it was just funny.
he was very nice to us. And they
very
had a
nice.
vegetarian plate. I'm like, I wasn't aware there was hummus in medieval times.
Most unexpected thing at Medieval Times is when you walk out and they have a DJ set up and a dance floor. It is like so unexpected, but so
like
awesome.
Pink, like, I'm coming up and you better get... And we're like, what?
There's something very strange about Knights
you go to
doing the
party.
robot. It's like a weird blend of
Knights have been
decades.
doing the robot since the chivalric code was written. And
0000001.
And it's so shocking, though. Just a dance floor right when you walk out from...
my good friend Carl once summed up medieval
Carl,
times.
awesome.
Yeah, he is. He summed up medieval times once brilliantly. And as good as fun as the show is, and it is fun. It's great to just like people that take it way too seriously, that are like expecting, an authentic medieval experience.
I can see that they're not really hitting that.
Yeah, and no, totally. First of all, this track lighting would not have been around in 1487, and you're like, no shit. But
Tell him what he's won, Bob.
but Carl he sums it up by going,
Well, if that were the case, it'd be like, I'm in Dallas. I don't even know where I live now.
I'm in the new world. It's not even been thought of yet. But Carl sums it up by just going, Pepsi, my lord. And
And I always think of the cable guy.
Yeah.
I always think of the cable guy. Janine Garofalo's like a waitress or a wench, and Matthew Broderick's like, can I get a fork? And she goes, there were no utensils in medieval times, so therefore there are no utensils at medieval times. It's like, they didn't have utensils, but they had Pepsi. And she's like, I got a lot of tables, dude.
So
But we
true.
got utensils, actually. We got, like...
hey, we got utensils. We got the whole 9 yards.
Because
it was classy.
vegetarian plate, you can't
You can't
with
really
your hands.
eat it with your hands.
So they're like, oh, but you're a vegetarian. Which?
But it was fun.
There were no vegetarians in
medieval
times.
I just remember when the cage comes down for like the big
Cage
arena
match.
pattern. It's like cage match, cage match. We're such assholes.
No, Steven got really loud, like the Green Knight came out. He's like, no!
Yeah, because we're supposed to boo the Green Knight.
No, the guys on the Green Knight side, they were all like, like Marines.
Oh God, yeah, and they're like, yeah, we'll kick your ass.
And they were like, this is a kid's show, really.
But
Please.
Chris Luce was really fun, and he was
Yeah.
great. They're all good, but he was. And he,
Bob.
I'm so
Hey.
blown away at Funimation has their own night working here. I did not know that.
We're very diverse.
Trivia.
we're
We don't
diverse.
discriminate. We don't
All
discriminate.
types come here. We go back in time and
Yeah.
get people from other areas, from other eras. Yes. So have you had the chance of meeting anybody that you like heard and were like, oh my God, I really want to meet this person, or maybe, oh my God, I don't want to meet this person. Have you had the chance of? Have you had any like encounters?
Who have I met that I was like shocked by their voice? I think the first time I met Bevins, I was like, oh.
Did you say that? And you're like, hi, I'm Bevins. You're like, oh.
No, I was just like, wow, this dude is awesome. And then last week I was in here and somebody was like, he's our go-to dog or something, some animal that he
Bevins,
does.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Bevins.
He's
And
really
I
good
was
at
like,
dog
He
voice.
does the dogs.
Really? Like he
Bark,
just
bark.
continually over and over. I'm like, oh, really? Really? He did that? He did that? He did that? So he's been one that I've just kind of like, oh, I didn't know that. He's just, he's like awesome and everything.
He's all over the place.
Yeah.
He's a genius. The man's a genius.
No, but I didn't know either that Funimation has their go-to animal people as well. Like I heard Monica does.
A lot of cats.
Yeah.
Monica does cats.
I was like, how do I get into that business?
Chris
They
Kaysen
just
does. Chris Kaysen can
specialize
do all
in an
kinds of birds.
animal.
Kason can do that. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know how, but like when we were doing, all of us, like you're in it, I'm in it, like Jamie's randomly Samurai Princess.
Oh, yeah.
Like Zach just he's like, I need someone who can laugh crazy, and just called me in. I'm like, you've never heard me, but you heard I can laugh crazy. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. But
it's funny how these things get started.
But Bevins, I've heard with the dog, Monica actually brought. She's like, it's just, if she's flipping through a book and she's a cat, she sees a cat, she's like, it'd be stupid for them not to cast me, really. She's never said that, but still. But I actually, I borrowed the second half from Tatum, but I watched Nabari no.
Oh, good, good.
You're very good in it. I'm like, that's not Chris Burnett.
Well, it's funny. I was looking at it when Monica cast me. I was like, I think I am this character in anime form. You know what I mean? Like, it looks just like me. He's like,
except white hair.
Wears glasses, and you know what I mean? I was like,
very skinny.
Yeah. So that was a fun one. Fast talker and everything. It was,
and you worked a lot with, who was the female? Was it Kate Oxley? That was, your sister in it?
Yes. Yes. I want to say it was Kate.
But you worked a lot with her, and then obviously Brina again, and Eric Vale.
Yeah, and what's funny is you talk about like not meeting the other actors and stuff. I had never met Eric Vale, and then we were
that voice fits that beard.
Yes. And we ended up
I love
in
that beard.
Yeah, it's a great beard.
We ended up in a booth at the end doing commentary on it, and it was kind of like, oh, hello, nice to meet you. And it was, you're like violating each other's personal space. You don't really know each other that well, and you're kind of like, hey, how are you? Good, nice to meet you, whatever. But it was great. It was a great time.
Good stuff.
I love hearing you and stuff now, because I don't know, I was really, I can honestly say I was captivated by your performance as Romeo, even while we were recording it, and I mean, you're part of the reason that experience was so rewarding for me as a director, because, like, between you and Brina and hell, the rest of the cast, I was just like, man, this is a dream.
Yeah, it really, again, man, it was just one of those things where man, that was awesome. And, like, in the moment, you don't realize how great it is. You're just, like, plowing through it, and then you look back and, God, that was awesome.
And I'm like, oh, my God.
And also, I mean, like, that was your first big role, right?
Yeah,
Romeo?
It was.
And
well,
what I like to think about that is, like, you had been doing kind of bits and doing a lot of auditions for 2 years, is that's kind of what you have to do. You gotta keep on doing it. And, I mean, think about if you had given up before that audition.
Oh, yeah. It was funny because before that audition, I had told my wife, Jana, I was like, I don't know if I should keep going out there, because it was a long commute for me to come out, and it'd take like 3 hours out of my day.
Wow.
And a lot of times I just wasn't booking them, and I was like, I don't know if I should keep going, or what do you think? And I was like, well, I'll just keep plowing away, and it was like a couple weeks later I booked that, and I was like, that was a really emotional booking for me, because I had worked so hard to just get in and get a role and stuff, and I've always been grateful for
I think
that opportunity.
The floodgates opened after that. Everyone was just like, who is this? Who is this? And they're like, it's Chris Burnett. They're like, Chris Burnett?
Yeah.
Okay, Chris Burnett.
I mean, it opened up a lot of doors, and I was like, oh my God, like, sometimes you really have to put in you gotta knock on the door for a long time,
Oh, yeah, no, it can happen that way, but I'm so glad it did. I mean, you and, of course, Maxie Whitehead, first time she'd ever done anything with us. You've done stuff.
Thank you, Bruce Elliott. Yes.
Who is a guest on the show as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Maxie's
okay,
on the
I thought
show.
I saw her.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, we had to get Maxie. We love our Maxie.
We love Maxie Whitehead. She's awesome.
A nice theatre actor and all that.
Right.
But there's just so many great moments in that show of yours as an actor that I'm just like, oh, man, I envy you getting to have them as an actor, really, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my fair share as William, getting to play that part, which Bruce made me do. I didn't cast myself in that role.
I thought you guys agreed on that.
Well, I mean,
again, it was another arm wrestling match.
He and Bevins agreed on it and told me that I was going to do it, and so that was that. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to do it now. Okay. And
that's where it's good. I mean, doing the auditions for the show that cannot be named, I was sharing the reins with somebody, and I ended up sharing a lot of the show with Tatum. But a lot of it was like, thank God you're here, Bevins. He's like, I know. Because you just need that. You need that outside perspective to someone who's not super dedicated to the show and like watched the episodes like a gajillion times like we did. And Bevins is like, I haven't I've maybe done one pass of every episode, so I can give you a better perspective on it. And he'll just hear shit that you just don't hear. One, because of experience, and he's just got that engineering ear and all that crap.
Well, and for me, on the case of Romeo and Juliet, it was the third or fourth show I'd ever directed, but it was the first show I'd ever had the chance to audition, to actually cast. Most of the time, I was taking projects over.
What a show to start out on.
And, because everybody...
You dove right in, my friend.
I had like 3 or 4 days. You had like over a week with emails and stuff and all that stuff.
Well, it was just crazy because there's so many people wanted to, were clamoring to get a chance to audition that we had to see all of them. And so Bevins was great and got us more time. And I'm glad he did, because we found some of the cast members that we found because we had those extra days and could listen to some people. Maxie was one person who came in kind of late, as I recall, and I'm glad we had that extra day.
Yeah.
So it was it's awesome. But I forgot where I was going with this now. But Shiny. Oh. But that show was, I knew that show was coming down the wire and that I'd be directing it almost a year probably before we got it. Well, not quite a year, about 8 months. And so I had all this time to build up expectations. I had met with Taliesin Jaffe a couple of times, one when I was in L.A. for Expo that year, and then he was still in Texas for a little while, and he was going to write the show. He and I talked at great length about it and what he was going to do with it, and I was really excited because I know Taliesin is an awesome writer, and anyone he picks is going to be an awesome writer. And so I was really looking forward to this show. So I go into this audition process, and not only that, but then I find that I'm gonna be training Bruce Elliott, my Bruce Elliott rather, as a director and sharing the show with him. I was ecstatic because Bruce is, especially from an acting standpoint, is a hero of mine. He was the lead in the very first show I ever was in, and he was so nice to me when we first got a chance to meet after that show had wrapped that I was like, oh my God.
He didn't just pull you aside like, look, motherfucker.
He's like, I've got one initial, and I'm tough.
Yeah, and I don't put a period after that R.
No, I do not.
Jane Michael Tatum.
Well, I want to go into that, how everybody's got their one initial thing, but we'll get into that.
That's the reason, because I met Bruce Elliott the same day that...
just called you just Michael.
I'm so jealous. Michael Burnett. That's what I should have gone as.
That's a great name. But okay, I'll tell you, there's two reasons I chose...
C.M. Burnett.
Double it up. Double it up.
You sound like an author that way. C.M. Burnett.
Yeah, pictures of... head on chin. Yeah.
No, the reason I chose the J is because the day that I had to decide how I wanted to be cast, which was, I guess we were already 2 contracts into it, was the same day I met Bruce Elliott in person. And of course, I'd been in love with his voice for months at that point. And I was like, oh, thank you. When I met him, it was like, I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. and Bruce just kind of giggled and thought it was cute and whatever. But,
I would have giggled if you were creepy, but
Well, I mean, I'm sure. But I go in the booth right after that, and when we record, Bevan's like, oh yeah, by the way, what do you want to be? They're gonna start cranking out the DVD authoring this week. So what do you want to be credited as? Because they need to know that for the summer.
Right.
Can I go by J. Michael Tatum? Because I'm like, I'm never gonna do this again.
Bevan's
and he was like, seriously, all right. Do you want a period after your name? And I'm like, yeah. And the J, of course, stands for John, but I've always gone by Michael just because that's my family's always called me Michael. I didn't even know that I had a much longer name until much later, but it got changed. But because my name is much longer than just John Michael Tatum, it's significantly longer.
Me.
But I'm not gonna.
Seriously, it sounded like a secret password.
Yeah, I forget it half the time, but.
So you're not gonna say it now after that build up? No, come on.
No. It has been legally changed because I
give us one of them, and I will tell you my middle name.
One of them is Xavier.
Damn it.
I think I remember.
Xavier.
Is that about it?
I think I remember.
And there's a
most
number
of
at
it.
the end of it.
Yeah, I know what the number is.
Really?
The number makes no sense. It's not there for any reason at all. There are not that. I am not the fifth of anything.
I thought about
So it's
doing
5.
like Terri J.
Okay.
Doty, but then I'm friends with you, like J. Michael Tatum, Terri J. Doty. I'm like, there isn't another Terri Doty. I mean, there are, like, I've Googled them, but they're all like much older than me. I'm like, if you think that's me, then please stop. But
Well, and there's another reason I chose the J is because Michael Tatum is actually a pretty common name around these parts. There's a lot, if you just look up the name Michael Tatum on Google or whatever, there's like a lot of people come up.
Try being a Chris.
seriously.
Because you're like, at least I'm one of only like 3 Michaels up here,
Oh,
but you're like
my
one of
gosh.
like 100 Chris's.
Well, oh my god.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah, that's why we
terrible.
all call, like, I call you Chris. Because, I mean, just, I call you Chris. But, like, Christopher Bevins is Bevins.
Right.
And then Sabat, Chris Sabat is Sabat. Although I think you credit him as Christopher R. Sabat.
yeah, that's
There
his-
again with the initial. I should have done the initial. I'm just so envious of the initial thing.
Sean Teague likes to
Not
be
too late
credited
to
as
change it.
Sean Michael Teague.
Sean Michael Teague.
And Chris Kaysen, you call Kaysen and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm lucky enough to be like the only Terry, male or female, that pretty much works here, you know, at Funny or wherever. Like, it's like there's one Terry. There's always one Terry, and it's either a girl or a guy. There's never 2. There's never a Terrence or well, no, actually, I get called Tara quite a bit at Funny. Steven's actually called me Tara.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, awkward.
And then, yes, and then Tara goes, "You told her?" Yeah.
Somebody's sleeping on the couch tonight. Oh my
Or
god.
Steven, yeah, Steppen. Call him. No, but my middle name is Jeanette.
Jeanette?
Oh.
Jeanette.
That's a very pretty name.
Yes, but everyone just says Jeanette. It's Jenet. So Jeanette.
One of my names is Buckley, and which is the more
One of the-
ridiculous of the.
I
Part of the
remember
big-
another one. I remember. I think I know all of them.
You
I
know
just
all
don't
of
know in
them.
what
It's just
order.
the order. Yeah,
And I know the number.
Buckley is one of them, and so I think it was Chris Kaysen, and then Will Short later sort of amended it, but they started calling me J Buckles.
J Buckles.
that was my name for them. Like, hey, J Buckles.
Yeah.
And so it's J Buckles, which I really like. J Buckles.
Yeah.
It's a cute name. But yeah, there's others. Corey Charlotte used to call me Buck Nasty.
I like that.
The 5th. Buck Nasty.
Buck
the
Nasty
5th.
the Fifth.
I
Yeah.
love the random nicknames
like an
that
Old
you get.
West, Old
Justin
West.
Pate. He used to work here. Now he's all being all awesome, you know, playing with like Ringo Starr. And stuff.
Musician.
And, like,
Hey, yo.
Ben Queller, I think is his name. I forget. But he called me T Diddy.
Oh, I like
T
that.
Diddy. I'm like, no, because all it takes is, you know,
That sounds a little
mispronunciation.
too close to
Teddy.
Teddy. Hey, Teddy.
Yeah, what up, T Daddy? He's like, no.
No.
Cracker it up, dude. Cracker it up. What up, T Diddy? Thank you.
What up, T Diddy?
Cracker it up.
Do you have any nicknames? Come on.
I was I was supposed to be named Samuel,
Okay.
and then I guess like my brother fought hard and pushed for Chris, and
Your brother.
But,
was like,
you know,
no, it has to be.
my rap name is Lil B. You know what I'm
Love it.
saying?
That's right. You do rap. I love
And I'll come
You
at
rap?
you hard with the Lil B. You know,
Wait, what? What are you
You
talking
didn't know
about?
that?
Wait, no, I didn't know this. You rap?
I have a rap group.
Really?
Yeah, we're the A-Town Fuzz. We are
Seriously?
straight out of the
not
streets of the
doing it.
suburbs of Arlington. We'll come at you hard.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
You may have to rap for us here in a little while.
Oh,
then.
no.
We've had just about everyone on sing. Even, my God, Massey and Terry sang like,
Okay.
you're always a jet.
A little teaser. Okay.
You might have to do that later.
Wait,
I-
All right. Well, you never
Crazy
know.
boy.
You never know. But and then I have an alter rap ego named Biff Brown, which is a combination of my favorite movie, Back to the Future. It's a
Future?
combination
Okay.
of Biff Tannen
And
and
Doc
Dr.
Brown.
Emmett Brown. Yeah.
Nice.
So Biff Brown.
Brown.
There you go. Yeah.
I love it.
It has a nice ring to it,
does,
you know, a little
Biff Brown.
2-syllable.
Brown.
So maybe now after today I'll change it to like J Biff Brown or something. You know?
No, if you're gonna go J Biff Brown and he's like another syllable in there, so it's like J Biff de Brown or something.
Right.
Like it needs another little. It needs a little da in there somewhere. J Biff de Brown, like Belle Biv DeVoe, right?
J.
My name's ridiculous. It's why I changed
yeah.
it. My brother and I both have really long names on our birth certificates, and it was just my family.
And
It's
it's-
just kind of strange. They did it. It's like kind of a tradition.
It's a pain on the driver's license.
Yes.
The credit card. everything.
The
Does
card
not,
company goes, no.
I mean, I have 6 names and a number essentially.
wow.
And my brother's. I don't even remember all of my brother's names. I
don't think he does either.
No, he doesn't either. But when he was 18, he had it legally changed, and when I was like 19 or 20, I had mine changed. And not even changed, just legally paired down.
Is it hard to do that? Because like, do you have to get a new social security card, all that?
No, you don't have to do that because the whole point of changing your name legally is so that you don't have to really. But I mean, you do have to go before like a judge and like explain why.
Really?
And the judge can be like, nope, not a good enough reason.
Listen,
and it was
dude.
funny because the judge was like, oh yeah, your brother did this a few years ago.
I remember you.
And yeah, so you just want. I'm like, I don't want to change
You
my
poor
name. I just want to
bastard.
take a few of them away. Like, can I just like consign most of them to the
Just
to
delete
the
a couple,
done
yeah.
bin? Yeah, I just want 3 names from now on, and I want to ditch the number.
So how did that work? You just draw them out of the hat, kind of. I'll keep this.
I just
a little
decided.
bit of
I
this,
decided
and
to use the non-Martian sounding names.
I don't think Xavier Buckley's Martian.
Yeah, it is.
Not to me.
Listen to it, Xavier
Dude,
Buckley.
I got friends with kids named Atari. That ain't fucking Martian to me. Like, I
To
think
me,
that is the
that's
most
very
badass
Martian. I'm
name.
like-
and
I think
it's a
that's
little
very
girl.
timeless
I think
myself.
It's badass.
Atari is
I think
timeless.
it's timeless and
Rose.
classic, isn't it?
Atari Rose.
Atari Road.
Yeah,
Well,
awesome.
Atari though is not. I mean, okay, it's not just the gaming console. Atari is in like there. Okay, there's an old Chinese game called Go, and it's kind of it's I don't know. It's a very complicated game. It's very
Yeah, we were
very hard to
talking
play.
about it because you didn't know there was a game called Othello.
No, I didn't. I'd never heard of it before. But no, there's a. It's.
You thought I was kidding, like I was about to make a bad joke or something.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Like, so there's like a thimble and a dog, and it's like playing Monopoly, only it's like, I'm gonna make you kill your wife!
Except no one passes go.
No one passes Go.
No one
Go,
collects $200.
yeah. Go is you suffocate your wife and then kill yourself.
Yeah.
Da-da.
I win! But no, the game of Go is like a Chinese game. It's centuries old. I mean, it's been around for a long, long time. It has a long history, and it's really hard. It's really, it's. I love playing it. I'm not very good at it, but I love it. But there's a move. You basically play it by surrounding the other player's pieces and kind of what they call suffocating them. And when you're both in deadlock, I think if I'm remembering this correctly, Atari is the same as kind of a stalemate in chess. It's very similar. It's more complicated than that, but there's a point where like neither one of you can go to this area of the board anymore without canceling out your pieces. So you just leave that area alone because those pieces are now in Atari, and it means like literally something like living death or whatever. So I don't know why they. I think if I'm remembering correctly, I could have my terms mixed up, but I know Atari is a term.
What about Commodore 64? Do you know anybody
I
with
remember Commodore 64.
the name Commodore? No.
No.
No, okay.
No. I mean, there's some funky names out there. I mean, like, people name their kid Apple, Coco,
Apple Coco.
Jet, Pilot, Inspector. No, like Jason
Inspector
Lee.
Gadget.
Actor Jason Lee. Like, he does, like, all the Kevin Smith, and he was in My Name is Earl.
Yeah.
His kid's name is Pilot Inspector Lee.
Wow.
Yeah.
Penn Jillette's child is named Moxie Crime Fighter.
I think Kevin Smith named his daughter, like, Harley, and, like, we all know where that's from. Like, we get it. You're a Batman dude. Like, we like it. But no. Well, okay, well, we've got some fan comments.
Oh, we have fan comments.
Jackie says, Terry, I love you, and I love you too.
I love you too, Jackie, even though you don't love
I
me.
love you, Jackie.
Tara and Jackie, I posted something because I was in the middle of moving this week. And there was this guy, while I was moving by myself, there was this guy that just kept staring at me. And Steven's got a cow skull that we needed to move. So I just carried it because I'm like, there's no point in boxing this. So I just carried it, and he started staring at me again. So I just stopped, and I just kind of stroked the skull with blank face and just...
Yeah.
And he left, and I'm just, what? What do you want? And then Tara Caraway was like, marry me? If only that were possible, but we're in Texas.
Oh.
Well, at that, and I'm already married and happy and shit, whatever. But,
Yeah, there's all that, little details.
all right, and we got an emailed question from Miss Regina Wagner for Chris.
Awesome.
Hey.
Have you ever acted on stage in a Shakespeare play? And besides Romeo and Juliet, what would your favorite Shakespeare play be?
Well, Regina, I have acted in one Shakespeare play, and it was Much Ado About Nothing, and I played Claudio, and I was terrible. I was absolutely terrible.
I find that very hard
And-
to believe. I think you're just being hard on yourself.
And I haven't done one since. Most of my training's been kind of contemporary modernism, and I was just very bad. Like, because Shakespeare, you have to be, big and, it's
Not
very,
necessarily.
very large gestures and.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who's directing you. The temptation to do that. A
I
lot
feel
of
like
directors go that direction, but
I feel like Shakespeare is either really good or really bad, and I don't feel like there's like a lot of like that was just an okay Shakespeare play.
no, I agree with you there.
You know what I mean?
No.
And
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of elbow room to do with Shakespeare. There's a lot of liberties you can, or not liberties, but there's a lot of places you can go with it that might not be obvious in the text, because that's just how, I think that's how absorbing his writing is, that you can really do almost anything with it
Right.
and it will work as long as you know how to read it, you know?
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think that's what kills Shakespeare for a lot of people, is because there's still this tendency to do it big, on stage, and it's kind of that old fashioned way of doing it, with your full stopping and everything at the end of every line,
Right.
But yeah, I think like Olivier and great actors like that. There's been this whole generation of actors, especially for film, that were like, let's naturalize it and make it more intimate, a little more, because the dialogue sustains that too, which is amazing, because it was certainly written to be performed big, because that was the style back then. It was very recitative. They were writing, they were based on the classics, which were very, Greek chorus like and things like that. But I mean, it's funny that Shakespeare almost wrote with this in mind, that one day an acting style will come along where people can actually say this in quiet, hushed, more intimate tones, and it sounds every bit as meaningful and just as profound. But still, we hear, especially in the States, we just want to go, blah! It's so hard not to want to do that with Shakespeare, because all of us think of Shakespeare as big and bloated and hard, and it's not. I mean, it can be, but it doesn't have to be. But,
Right.
But anyway, what were you saying?
No, I remember the cool thing about the show. I had there's like an epic sword fight at the end or whatever, so I got to do a little sword fighting choreography, but. When I'm like 5'5" and I'm holding this sword and it's so heavy and I'm just, oh my God, I think I was 19 or something at the time. And
You like a toddler in a Halloween outfit.
yeah, it just looks. I'm willing. I'm on the side willing out a goatee, just grow. But yeah, the show was. I think the show was pretty good. I don't know. There was a guy in it who went to Fordham and studied Shakespeare, and he was like amazing. And so I'd get caught up kind of watching him, like, oh man, I wish I could do that. I'm up. Okay, I'm entering. But yeah, Shakespeare, it's very tough. It's really tough, and I was glad that Tatum was directing, because Tatum, you have a lot more knowledge about that than I do, and
I'm a Shakespeare fiend.
and your dictionary is very big.
I know a lot of words.
Yeah.
That's
What was it? I did stump you once with lanyap.
No,
though.
you didn't stump me. I knew what it meant. I just never heard anyone use it
okay.
before. I was like, did you say lanyard? Oh my God. And the reason I know that is because
I took great pride in that. I was like,
I was
yeah,
like, lanyard, oh my God.
it out there.
That's
Yeah.
occasion words. It means a little something extra.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had this great little moment. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. You didn't stump me. I was just surprised that someone else, like, I've never heard that word used in everyday
See, that's
conversation
my mom.
before.
That's my mom. She throws
Go
it in all the
mom.
time. Yeah.
Go mom.
Oh, that's just a little lanyap. That's all that is.
I love the way you say that. Do it again.
That's just a little lanyap. That's all it is. Hey, Christopher, I'm gonna need you to go to the store and get an onion. And if you could, just get some cookie, get a little lanyap too.
Get some cookie.
And
I love that.
I
Get
think she
some
says it
cookie.
with plural, but I went singular. I don't know why.
Get some cookie, like it's just a class of food.
Oh, no. No. She's gonna hate me. That's not.
That's hilarious.
I love it.
Tatum and I were annoying our significant others by going hey but Tatum, you took it to like I hit my mic. Took it to like a different level. You're like, I like the way you walk. Like it always looks like you're walking up the stairs.
That's something. What did I say about? Your lip looks like it's been stung by a bee. If I were a bee, I'd sting you in the lip.
Like you said that like in Steven's ear while he was driving.
Yeah, which I'm glad
He's
we
like,
didn't like.
"Stop."
I'm glad Steven just didn't stop the car and kick me out because I would have.
We're doing that Tatum. I won't give strawberry.
I love it. Our voices are so ridiculous.
Yeah, no, like voice actors, when you get bored, just start being ridiculous and annoy the people around you. And if they're
It's kind of a
around,
pastime with us.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
you'll discover a new voice or something.
That's
yeah.
how I learned how to act. Is to be annoying. I had an older brother that I annoyed the shit out of when I
always
was a kid.
I always imitated people on TV to see if I could do impersonations.
I used to play Scooby-Doo villains. I used to always want to be a Scooby-Doo
And I would have gotten
villain.
away with it too.
Totally. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to be the creeper today. And so I'd probably pretend to be Scooby-Doo villains as a kid. That was my first acting experience.
Yeah, because no one ever wants to be Daphne or Velma. Like,
No, and I didn't want to be Fred. 'Cause Fred's a
Boring.
douche.
Yeah.
again, it's that. The only mystery here is why we take our cues from a dick and a neckerchief. Not very clever, but still.
It happens more often than you think, though, having to take... What?
What?
I'm sorry.
Nothing.
No.
You've never worn a neckerchief to work?
No, not to work. I am going through this, like, this year was my scarf phase.
This year or last
I
year?
decided, huh?
This year or last year?
This year. It started when, like, it got cold, like, really cold in January, February. I went to a couple cons and I decided, I'm gonna wear a scarf, but I'm gonna, like, tie it like an ascot, because, you know.
I'm gonna get all Tom Baker on it.
Yeah, why not? And so I did. I wore scarves, and by God, I looked good.
Oh, wow, that. And this year it actually
sure you thought so.
snowed in Texas too.
Yeah, I have like
So you
like
could-
a dozen scarves now. Like a fan gave me a scarf, and it started with that. I'm like, ooh, I like this scarf. Ooh, I want this one. Ooh, so I started just getting scarves all the time. I'm like, I now have a collection of scarves. I know, right? It's stupid, but I love wearing
Everybody does
eccentric stuff. You know, I like wearing something a little different every
You
now.
like having a flair.
I like having a little bit
A
of
little
flair.
flair.
A little bit of
Yeah,
flair.
a little flair,
a little bit of the buttons.
Well, plain tee, plain jeans, but then a flair with the.
Yeah, I'm see like now I'm wearing like the t-shirt and jeans. That's typically where if I'm going to work. But if I'm like at a con or something, I've got a chance to. I feel like I should dress up because all these kids go to such great lengths to deck out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I should do this too. This is a safe place, and to do so,
to experiment.
I would never
Fashion.
wear an ascot and go to like a sports bar. But
You'd never go to a sports bar.
no. Not intentionally. It's happened accidentally once or twice, and I was very.
The latest
You
game
were
was
tricked
very
into
And I
going.
learned, and I learned the hard way not to wear an ascot.
What's going on here? There's basketball and
Because
baseball
my ass
everywhere.
got laid out. But anyway, that was terrible. Stop looking at me with those eyes, Mom. See, look. You see this?
Oh,
You see this,
no.
Chris? She does the mom look, and I
The
hate
evil
it.
No,
eye.
that's not the mom look. That's
That's the second grade
sister,
teacher.
The sister being annoyed by her big brother, like, I share blood with you.
Just stop
No, this is the
talking.
mom, though.
Oh, very
Look
good.
at that. It's like I
As
hurt
Terry
her.
turns, she is turning from her chair, arms crossed, and now a raised eyebrow. Oh, very nice.
Okay, but anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about you. What do you think about me? I'm kidding.
Wow, see? This chair is fucked up.
Oh, this chair's killing us. The chairs are going
Yeah,
to take over
see?
the world.
So, Mr. Chris Burnett,
Yeah.
Mr. Chris Burnett.
how'd you get started, Mr.? Because obviously, I mean, I didn't realize till I had worked with you a couple times that you did, this GameStop stuff and all this other stuff. When did you start doing all that?
Well, I've been doing GameStop for a couple of years, and it's awesome. I love it. You get to hear about all the new video games that are coming out. I mean, it's just awesome. And now Brina's doing it, which makes it even more awesome. So I've been doing that for a couple of years, and I guess I've been acting full-time for about 5 years. So I started when I got out of college, got an agent, and dove right in.
That's how you have to do it, though, right?
Yeah, that's how you have to do it. So living the dream, guys. Living the dream.
How did you... I try to ask this of everyone because it's everyone kind of finds their own way into this thing called acting. Mm-hmm. How did you know? I mean, how did you find it? How did you come to be an actor?
Well, I wish that it was like, really dramatic or something, but basically in high school, I did a lot of plays. I was president of the theater club.
Oh,
and
so was I.
Yeah, here we go. Fellow presidents. Oh my God.
Fellow presidents.
I had no idea.
Mom.
This is the executive branch in here. We will be holding court all day. Executive powers.
They have play money now with our picture on it.
So I did it all through high school, and then in college, I applied to Syracuse and Boston University and DePaul University and TCU. I think those were all. And I got in everywhere. And so I was like, to their theater schools. And I said, oh, well, I guess I should continue to do this. And then I had like this massive, panic attack. I ended up going to DePaul in their, conservatory program. And I just like panicked and was like, I don't know if I can do this. And I was 18 and I dropped out of the conservatory before I even took a class.
Aww.
So now I was like in Chicago and was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But anyways, so I ended up getting a degree in communications, and midway through college I was like, I want to act again, and so here I am.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! There's the Reader's Digest version of my college career.
So what do you remember do you remember the first stage play you ever did?
Yes, it was something Santa Claus. It was something Santa Claus. I don't remember. It was third grade, and I played Santa. Coincidentally, and then later on at Funimation, I was to play Santa in My Santa. So there you go. There's a little bow for everyone. And but yeah, I don't know why they chose the smallest man in the grade to play Santa, but there I was.
They were going with the old version of Santa Claus.
You had to fix that chimney.
We need someone really small who can monkey up the chimney.
Okay, we're not going to precast, but someone needs to fix
Saying you better work on your ho-ho-hos.
Oh.
That's
yes,
really
my size, coincidentally, has always been a strength in acting, which was another thing, because I was a big basketball player in high school, and basically they had my junior high was weird, because it went 7 to 9, or 7th through 9th, and then high school was 10th through 12th. And so 9th grade, I played freshman basketball, and then I had to make a decision of, am I going to try out for basketball? My school was like 3,000 students or something, and then I was like, I'll be an actor, and nobody cares if you're small,
Well, and usually whenever you choose to do athletics, you can't do theater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why I dropped out of journalism. And so I'm like, I love doing it, but no, I have to be at rehearsals. No.
Yeah, and they force you to kind of make decisions, and then,
They're like, well, you have the rest of your life, but you really need to make a decision what you like now.
Yeah.
So true, so true.
Yeah, they don't like to mess around in school. They're like, no, decide now, everything now.
Everything's very
How many
immediate.
kids do you want? None.
What are you going to major in? I don't know. I'm 17. I just
not like you've taught me anything.
I don't know. I just want to go to Chick-fil-A and have lunch.
So,
Which was a big thing.
Now, this is a question I like to ask people, especially people with stage experience like yourself. Has there ever been, and let me tell a little story here, Buzz, to kind of give you an idea of what I mean. This
Now
is a story
time with Tatum.
let me pass out my Werther's Originals.
We save stories for the man with one initial before his name.
Sean Hannigan actually told me this story while we were doing Romeo and Juliet, and I've said this elsewhere, but never on the show. It was this great story he said about, we were just talking about live theater and Shakespeare and things like that one afternoon. And he'd said that, when he was younger, he'd been in a production of King Lear, I believe, in Dallas. I don't remember who he said was playing Lear at the time or whatever, but he said they had a packed house this one night, and the guy playing King Lear was, of course, brilliant and really getting into it, and they come to the scene where he's, naked and bedraggled and screaming at the storm, blow wind, crack your cheeks.
The good part.
Yeah.
You didn't tell this story before. Just tell me.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, well, and so, I'll tell it for your benefit then.
Well, no, that's the classic Tatum thing is you told us this, so you know what I'm about to say.
But anyway, like this real storm came in from out, and just like knocked all the power out. There was like tornado sirens going off everywhere, and the audience, was like freaking out, but the guy just kept right on doing that famous soliloquy. And the audience just stayed and watched it, and it was like, living theater. And I love that story. Have you ever had a moment like that, either on stage or as an audience member watching a play? I mean, anything like that comes to mind?
Where living theater.
Well, just something where like you didn't expect happens, like something that kind of you're like, wow, this is what theater can do, like that you just didn't think about beforehand. Anything like that comes to mind?
No.
All right. Well,
This is
what's your favorite color?
No.
No, that was a stupid question.
This is an unrelated story, but the first thing that came to mind when you're telling that is in high school I had my favorite teacher, Mr. Cure, told a story. This is kind of a strange anecdote to the story, but the lead singer of Little Texas went to my high school. You know that.
Yeah.
God bless Texas with his own hand. And apparently, I could
I love
be
that little shimmy that went.
right.
He shimmied for us.
That's a little lagniappe, if you will.
You
Yeah.
just like to dance in the booth.
Yeah, well, but this guy was, I guess he was about to. I could be butchering this story, but he was on the catwalk overlooking the stage,
Yeah.
and I guess he was about to miss a cue, and so Mr. Cure said he just heard ting 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 across the catwalk. Somebody was running, and it's really low, and this guy's like 6'2", and you hear ting 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 ting, nothing. And then he comes back on stage and he's singing his, this big finale, and he's just got blood gushing down his head and stuff, and everybody was so confused, but it's like he had just, annihilated himself on the catwalk or whatever. It's the only thing I can think of where theater kind of, a little bit of life blended into theater, but me personally, I'm very meticulous. I don't like, improv and stuff on stage. It kind of intimidates me a little bit. So I will I will know my lines to a T, and I don't like digressing too much from it, I mean, I like that's why I like rehearsals and, things like that.
Yeah.
So, if stuff like that goes on, like, it really takes me out of the moment and out of the element, I'm like, oh my God, this is not happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no,
But-
I totally get that.
Yeah.
Because for me, it could go either way. I mean, it depends on, I suppose there's that ideal moment where you have that epiphany on stage where you're like so into your character that a bomb could drop outside and you'll be fine. And you're still just like exactly where you were before. But for the most part, yeah, I'm very meticulous too, and I'm very I have to stand back from it to a certain degree and act kind of from the outside in. And so if the outside is not what it was the day before, my performance changes because I anchor myself in the out there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, I think, this sounds horrible, but sometimes I think high school theater was some of the best work because it consumes you. Like, you don't have anything else really going on, and you think about it all the time, and you have time to really get sucked into it, and everybody there is there's like an ensemble to it that it is harder to find as an adult because people are, have their own jobs, and they're they've got other worries outside of the theater that can sometimes carry over and stuff. So, I don't know. I think there's like a special time to doing theater as a youth, myself, I think there is
I think so.
Like some sort of, unique quality to it. I don't know.
Of course,
Well, because it's just about that. It's not about making people get into the seats. I mean, it's nice, but...
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's as an actor, you have to approach it from your own perspective. Like, what am I going to learn about myself in doing this? And as a kid, you do have that opportunity because it's not your vocation. You don't have the competitive pressures necessarily. Not like you do in the professional acting world, where the competition is ratcheted up because it's all it's how you earn your bread. And so it's not just, well,
all I
I
have to do is pass all my classes to stay in this
and
play.
so you do. It's a great environment. The only downside to it, though, is there's so many roles. I say so many. There's quite a few, I guess, that you need the experience of adulthood in order to be able to look at it as an actor and kind of know where that character is.
Right, and bring
that to the table. I mean, there's a lot of characters you can't play until you've had.
They'll still do it.
They'll still do it.
Why are
but
we
it's
doing
like,
Plaza Suites?
Yeah, or why are we doing Death of a Salesman? Like, who here has had a job?
Willie,
I'm very aware I'm watching a play.
Yeah.
Loman. Who's this Loman guy?
Who's this Loman guy? What? Loman? This is a lock in Scotland.
I love the people that stick with it after high school. Like, you're really going to stick with it because I did it for the first year in college, and then I just went like, no, I'm done. I think I'm done. I love doing film, and but like voice acting, I love because I'm a big tattoo enthusiast, and I don't have to worry about putting on 8 hours worth of fucking cover up. I can just be me and just record my voice. But like stage, it's like, well, doing this, and it's awesome. But yeah, my most fond memories. Yes, we are here. I've been moving all week. My members are from high school. Like, not Lady Dracula. I also did community theater and stuff. But Renfield of the Flies and Spiders, where it was, the lead was Renfield, and Dracula comes back, and it was, Dracula was played by this Argentinian exchange student, Gaston Willig. But now he's like, he's on the Bing commercial, he's the vampire that, it's just like, let's blah, blah, blah. And he's on all the medieval times commercials. He was on America's Most Smartest Model. Sheer Genius, all that stuff. And I'm like, you stuck with it!
He was the America's Smartest
Model.
Yeah,
he was the first one to get kicked off.
One of the best television moments of all time in that show of dirty penis. He said dirty penis.
Yeah. No, Gaston, he was like, I'm a model in high school, and we're all like, okay. And he was. But,
it's easy to see why.
But he had very broken, he's gotten a lot better, but he had very broken English, because, he was an exchange student at the time, and, he was Dracula, so he said, Renfield, you have betrayed me. And we're all, I guess Dracula did good. I didn't understand a fucking word he said. That was my mom. I had no fucking clue what he said.
The Gary Oldman version of Dracula. Listen to the children of the night. What beautiful music they make.
By Mike.
I think he was, I remember seeing him on that now. Because, that moment...
He's the knight in the medieval times commercials, and the Bing thing. I'm like, bar
shall remain open.
In the medieval times.
But yeah,
I want to go back. It was fun. I've never been before. But.
Theater is great. I think it was like kind of like glass is broken kind of thing. Like the glass ceiling is off because there's no fucking way. Like for me being. Like, I just didn't have the discipline to be theater actor. Like, Joe McDonald is ridiculously dedicated to doing theater. I don't see where he gets it and is able to do do anything else.
It's the power of the mustache.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think it's the power of the stash.
Have you seen Lobster Alice yet?
What is it? No, Lobster Alice.
He's playing Salvador Dali.
He's playing Salvador Dali in Second Thought Theater.
For some reason, I thought you were naming his mustache. And I was like...
That is now what his mustache is going to be named.
That is a brilliant mustache name.
Lobster Alice. No, he plays... It's a really,
Tatum and I went to go see it
neat
last
play.
Saturday.
I was really impressed.
Oh, wow.
And it's essentially about these two animators for Disney. Well, an animator and his assistant, male and female, who kind of have this romantic... sort of unrequited romantic background, and Salvador Dali comes, as he did in real life, to help them to be part of this project. And of course, when he shows up, it gets very surreal, and his presence just encroaches on every aspect of the set and the actors. And Joel plays Salvador Dali, and he's amazing.
Phenomenal.
It's great.
From the moment he walks in, he just has him down to a T. And it's a great performance because when you're doing something like Dali or any historical person that's so well known and that there's so much video of.
Oh, it's tough.
It's tough because, the performance can easily degrade into just a caricature, but no, Joel is awesome. I was so watching him gives me the voice the stage acting bug. I want to act on stage again now having seen that play.
That's the tough thing though, is if it's really good, they make it look easy and you're like, I can do that. And then
I know.
and then you go do it and you're like,
it's not easy because I've done it and it's not easy at all, but
no. It was so funny. It was the one of the first, if not the first, like real play Steven had seen. So like we're driving over to go pick up Tatum and Joshua. It's like, you're not wearing a bow tie, and Steve's like, oh my god, do I need to wear a bow tie? You didn't tell me.
Going,
and I'm like, I'm fucking with you.
Did you bring flowers? Did you bring flowers? Because we gotta throw flowers on the stage.
Where are your opera glasses?
Yeah, Steven's like, oh my god, should I go home and change? We're like, no, it's a play. They're gonna be too busy acting to care about what we do. But but that brings me to my next point. Since you have stage experience and voice acting experience, how would you compare the two?
Well, the voice acting is so much more relaxing.
Yes.
That it's in my opinion, it's a little bit just more. It's just more chill, more relaxed. There's not as much pressure on you. You can redo a take. If you miss something in theater, it's gonna take the whole show off track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess too, like at Funimation, the biggest difference obviously is just a lot of times you don't get to see the script until you're here. So I would say that a big difference for me is Funimation is a lot of it's a director's medium in the sense that you don't always know what you're going to say, when you show up.
So you have to depend on the director.
You heavily rely on the director. And in the theater, you have a director who comes in, kind of, directs the whole the process, but then a lot of times during the show they move on, So you can not necessarily stray from the original plan, but you can try new things and explore and do all these things. So it's a little bit more, a little bit more on the actor. But I mean, I don't know. I love the theater. I love doing voice, but they're completely different animals. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, very different.
But I haven't done a show in, man, I don't know, like 3 years or something. So it's been a long time for me. But sooner or later, I really there's a couple of roles before I get out of the age bracket I'd like to play. One of them is the lead in Sideman, because there's I think it won a Tony in like 97 or something. But the guy is like it's from like age 15 through the 30s or through his 30s, and I feel like I'm approaching the age where I won't be able to play the whole range believable. But I saw it on Broadway with somebody from the Brat Pack. Who was it?
Joe Nelson.
No.
Anthony Michael Hall.
No.
Rob Lowe.
I'm drawing a blank. I don't know. He was really good.
Andrew McCarthy.
Yes. Yes, Andrew McCarthy. I saw him in it. He was great.
All you needed to say was Brett Pack.
Terry is like the walking, living flesh and blood IMDb.
So how's his star meter then? Do you follow the?
It's down.
I'm just kidding. Who was it who said
since you said something
IMDb
about it.
is basically like Facebook for actors?
That's what Brian said.
Yeah, that's it's so true. It's like nobody looks at IMDb.
Watch the rest of Dallywood and the other main character, Jeff. Hofer, it looks like he's like looking at porn and he's sweating. He's like, yeah. And what he's doing is he's constantly updating his star meter. He's just like, yeah. Oh my god, it's so funny. But it's true.
It is true.
Yeah, IMDb is a strange beast. Most people, I feel like, who don't act don't even know what it is. They're imdb.com.
What is this stuff?
What is that? That
I
sounds like
that to read trivia,
that sounds like a phishing scam. Where they're gonna take my credit card and run with it.
I will not give you my pin.
I will not.
I searched it, and I love. I look at Tatum's. It's like, do you represent J. Michael? And I want to be like, yes. Can I? Is there a way that I can get on here?
Is there a way I can be his agent?
We have a question from Miss Donna B. Obviously, Miss Donna Baker, the lovely Miss Donna Baker. She's a big fan of Big Wind Up.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Did you enjoy working on it? Do you remember this show at all?
Actually, I did enjoy that show. I was a big baseball player in my youth, so it was fun to actually be in a cartoon. In my youth. Well, I say youth, very tongue-in-cheek, if you will.
Yeah, go.
But yeah, no, I love baseball, so it was fun to be like in a cartoon where you're, actually playing baseball.
It could have been live, honestly. It could have a live action big wind up would have gone much faster too.
No, that show was a blast, and I got a real kick too when I was listening to Brian's episode, hearing that he was the umpire, and I was like, oh my god, yeah,
Strike!
That must have been a fun role.
Actually, funny little side note, trivia to put on IMDb. You were the first actor I officially directed as a paid director.
Really?
You're the first actor.
That's
Yeah, because you went like,
for everyone there.
is this your first session? You even said that because someone told you. I'm like, yeah. Like, I've directed people, but this is official. Yes.
Yes, I was like, let's keep it PC. I'm looking at Tatum, and I'm like, I don't know if I should say that.
I work very well pantsless.
I'm sorry?
Casey Clark's like, no, we're not doing that, no. No, you're very comfortable with me now. Like, you've done, like, stripper dances and everything. In the studio.
you know.
Like, what are you doing? You're like, don't pretend you're not interested.
He's humped my leg before.
Hey, come on, guys, come on. Hey.
He got more work because of it,
Yeah,
though.
well, yeah.
Absolutely.
How bad do you want this part, Burnett?
I really want to be on that anime show. I'm going to need a dry hump on my leg. And
That's going to be like a dry martini. I'm like, all right, make them up.
Well, I'm the one that does the booking, but please don't hump my leg.
oh, okay. All right.
You can hump my leg. It's
I have to think of something else.
Yes,
then.
I will vomit. Please. He's doing like the cat.
the cat thing. That's what they go.
Ew, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, no.
I have perfected doing that because I've had cats all my life.
I am
And there's always
sorry.
round two also.
No, I am
Yeah, there's
so
always like,
sorry.
more
If you're at the gym or something right now listening to this, you're probably like running and there are a bunch of people around you and just going, oh God, no.
I'm gonna do it again.
So sorry.
I'm gonna do it again.
No.
Yeah,
no.
don't do it. Don't do it.
I will say your whole name. I'll do it. No. Okay. Please stop.
Oh, it sounds like J. Michael making Stinky.
Boy, I've been working really hard for that one, and not a lot happened there.
You need to go to the doctor.
I just need to eat more fiber.
Oh my, how does
So,
potty humor always?
Chris.
I'll shut up now.
Yeah, I'd like to believe that.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
That was such a like, okay. Do you? Oh God. Tatum. Yeah.
We had a waiter the other night. We went to some little bistro in Arlington, and the waiter was really good, but at some point he caught himself saying between everything, and it wasn't like He's like, well, we have a great side dish tonight. We give you garlic mashed potatoes, and he's like, God, I'm saying a lot, and he was like, oh, there it is again, and everything it became like he interrupted himself even more by like parenthetically commenting on the fact that he just said every time. So we're like, dude, just please take our order.
Put our order in place.
Spiraling.
Oh man. I think it was something like, all right, you have 6 words. Go for it. It's like, well, beauty, fashion. They're like, well, you're
that's
done.
6. You're out. You're
What?
out.
I only said 3. No, you said 3 times. Well, This is so funny. So, okay, we have another question from Yoko Kurama. You correct me, like message me and be like,
cool
that was
name,
horrible. To Tatum.
Oh,
Did we ask you about Bamboo Blade? I would say Blamblue.
Blamblue.
Blade. How did he enjoy Yuji, or how did Tatum enjoy Blue, Braver, or Schoolboy A? You're a schoolboy? Ain't no fucking way.
I honestly.
That
don't
was
remember
brilliant
that.
work.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that show. I do remember that show, but I vaguely remember. It's one of the shows I haven't seen yet, so I don't remember. I know it was in the middle. We recorded it in the middle of me doing like 100 other things up here. So a lot. I'm like, what was I in? Oh yeah. So I'm gonna let you answer that question.
Yes.
Please. I'll be like, yes, I enjoyed it immensely because I enjoy everything up here, but I don't remember
Yoko,
it right now.
I can say with 100% honesty that Tatum actually goes to sleep at night going, man, if only I had done Schoolboy A better. You know,
it's sad that I do.
Sometimes the bit parts are the most fun.
That's true.
They are.
Very true.
Well,
I
as
love
someone,
doing
okay,
bits.
because you guys, and I always mention it, and I don't say it begrudgingly because I love it, but like you guys have a lot of lead roles and all that loveliness. All I get is that, and I love it because it's a lot more freedom for me. Because if I get it wrong, it doesn't matter because you're not paying attention to me. But I'll leave a session and I never feel good about myself. Especially if, like, Tatum's directing me and I'm just like, no, he's just being nice because we're friends. And
I recommend dry humping the director's leg when you leave. It always helps you feel better.
I would literally go blind from that mental image.
Oh, okay. All right.
But literally.
My leg is not that ugly. Okay.
Sweetie, that's not the problem in this scenario.
Oh.
All right, and then female kyo. Does any... Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It's random hurrying chat talk. So, do any of the actors read manga counterparts of the anime they're involved in? Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Often I do.
Do you read any manga?
I do not read any manga. Should I be reading
manga.
manga?
Yes. Manga. I say manga.
I say manga too. I think it's manga, but I'm
Manga.
with manga.
Manga counterparts?
Yeah.
A
Any show that you may be involved in that has manga origins?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, if I'm in a show that the manga's already been produced here and like put out in the States in a good English translation, I'll read it just to kind of get some insight of the character. I did that with One Piece.
There was
I'm doing that for something I'm currently in.
Yeah, actually, I found that for you. I'm like, look, here
And
it
I was like,
is.
woohoo!
We were annoying everyone in that bookstore. But look what else we're doing. But actually, I'd say the show that we can't talk about, I got super annoying on that show as a director because I did some could say too much research for it, is I still, to this day, keep up with the manga. And we've been done with it for some time. I do that with anything, but now I've recently gotten into a couple of things. But yeah, no, I've gotten severely into manga, especially a show that I'm not really involved in, but Tatum's in, that got me into the show. But no, Chris hates manga. He said he hates it.
I did not say I hate manga. I'm not very familiar with it. I don't hate it. I just don't know much about it.
There's some really good ones out there.
There are some. Give it a shot.
Yeah, you
I
should.
will. I'll have to dive right in and get a little sample platter.
Little
Little lanyard.
Little sample platter.
Some cookie.
Yeah.
Life is a cookie.
Life is a cookie.
Oh, we're watching
in
some
what way is
random
life is a
Hello.
Hi.
We're watching some
Romeo.
terrible romantic comedy, and I love Alan.
Impression.
I love Alan Arkin. I think
Oh,
he's
me too.
amazing. But he's like playing this like very like daft, kooky, therapist at an insane asylum, and Billy. It was America's Sweethearts with like John Cusack, and I just love it because Billy Crystal's not like, oh, hey, I'm Billy Crystal in it.
Hey.
But he's like, is
Not
he
a bad
gonna be
impression,
okay? Is he gonna be okay? He's not gonna like go off the handle, and he like puts like a whole branch like on his face, and he's like, life is a cookie, and just hits himself again in the face, and Billy Crystal's like, okay.
This reminds me. Have you ever seen the movie called Crazy People with Dudley Moore?
No.
It's a really
I used to be like a big Dudley Moore fan.
yeah,
but no.
and me too, and that's why I got the movie. It came out in like, I want to say late 80s or something, maybe early 90s, but he plays an ad exec, like a creative who goes nuts because like his life just falls apart around him. Like his wife leaves him, the house is repossessed on him. And right, like the evening before all these print ads that he's making are supposed to go out, like to the printer or to the distributor or whatever, he redoes them all to be totally brutally honest.
Oh my God, you
and
told
so
me
all
about
these
this.
ads go out, and it's really funny. And so and they go out accidentally, but he gets fired because of it. But it's too late to pull them. But actually, all the sales for all these products goes through the roof because people are like, "Dude, we like this no nonsense, no bullshit approach." And so they go to him, but by now he's like at this sanatorium where he's like made friends with the crazy people, and they're all like, "Well, you should totally come back to work. I don't want to come." So they convince the crazy people and him to form this firm at the sanatorium, and they make these hilarious ads like Volvo, boxy, but we're good, or Lamborghini. It's it's Corvette, a little too. What was the ad?
I don't know.
It's a little too small to get laid in, but you're getting laid the minute you step out. and AT&T, fuck with us and you'll have no damn phones. And it was like, so AT&T, be happy with what you've got. And, and something like Metamucil, drink this or you could get cancer and die.
Maybe my mom watched that. Because my mom loves to, and now I do it, but anytime we watch TV together, she'll add a little tidbit to the end of it. Or it's just like, Geico. Because why the fuck not? like, that's my mom finishing the commercial.
We were watching, was it Dawn of the Dead, the more recent version of it?
Yeah.
Over at Mike and Denise's, and one night, and I hadn't seen it before. I've seen the original, of course. I love it. Mm-hmm. And I was watching this, and of course there was this desolate shot of the mall as they're coming up to it, and I just couldn't resist but going, it's the end of high prices. And I love ads like that, though. That's
like the fortune cookie ad in bed at the end of every one.
Of course.
Very cheap thrill.
Except I honestly have, like 4 times in my life, gotten a fortune cookie that says, hey, order more fortune cookies today, and with like an ad for the fortune cookie company in it. I'm like, oh, I
for the longest time, I was thinking about starting a brutally honest fortune cookie thing. It's like, you just ate Chinese food. You're wondering why you're single? Seriously, stuff like that.
The fortune cookie is now a lost art, in my opinion. There's a lot of it. It's no longer a fortune, it's advice.
Or
don't go left when you get out of the store or something,
or it's like, friends make a man happy, and you're like,
that's not a fortune, that's wisdom.
Or facts.
Yeah.
Facts. I got one, granted, I wasn't in the best state when I read it, but I was 19, 20, and I opened it, it said, drugs are bad, hugs are good.
In bed.
And I'm like, it's true. But that doesn't really help me, I mean.
It's like opening a fortune cookie and be like, you have a face.
In bed.
Or I love when you're with someone that has fortune cookie.
That's what you gotta do.
Someone's got fortune cookie protocol, you can't eat the cookie till you've read the fortune. If you don't like the fortune, you can't eat the cookie. I'm like, bullshit! I go to Payway and I grab fortune cookies as appetizers before my shit gets to my table. I'm eating them, yeah.
I'm stocking up on my fortunes.
Yeah.
By God.
I'm looking ahead to the meal. Exactly. Yeah, it's a fortune. Yeah, they don't give fortunes anymore though. It's all just
they really don't. I wonder why. It's almost like
it's a lost art.
We're getting complaints about the bad fortunes, you guys. And don't we always? Shut up, Mark.
like I can imagine some irate customer just being like, "This is telling me that I should that I'm going on a journey in 3 weeks. What the fuck?" Who complains about that?
Hello, yeah, no, I got one that said at 8 a.m. the next morning to not drink the coffee. The coffee is poison. What the hell? That just sounded like a good omen to me, man. I'd be happy.
I would.
I'd love to be customer service for that. Thank you for calling Bad Fortune.
Misfortune cookie.
Thank you for calling
I like that.
I can't be the first person that's come up with that.
Unfortunate cookies? Unfortunate cookies?
There's a lot of unfortunate cookies out there.
Thank you for calling Unfortunate Fortunes. Hello.
It's those parody motivational posters that make fun of things like that.
Demotivational posters.
Yeah. Several of my favorites.
The fail blog of posters.
Well, Tatum and I are obsessed with fail blog. Are you a fail blogger?
I love fail blog.
I am not mad at fail blog.
I just submitted one. People should keep voting.
You're mad at fail blog.
No, I am not mad at it. That's what I'm saying.
I
just submitted one because on Pick is Unrelated. You can make your own captions and submit them, and hopefully you'll win. I've got 12 cheeseburgers right now for mine, or 12 votes, 5 cheeseburgers a vote. But it's a picture of Mel Gibson holding a beaver, and he's going, ah! So I wrote, looks like Murtaugh was too old for this shit. And And I'm like, maybe that's a little too old of a reference. I don't know.
I liked it. I got it. Of course,
Thank
I'm old.
Yeah.
I've been getting real into there's a I don't know, it's on YouTube, but there's a Japanese show that pulls pranks on people that are would be totally illegal in the United States. And my friend showed me one. I'm pretty sure he found one where it's these guys in a spa.
Might be legal in Arizona.
What?
Nothing. Everything's legal in Arizona, apparently. Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Except gay marriage. Because that's just wrong.
It's not right, y'all.
It's not natural. Like, whatever.
But, what? That makes no sense, because you don't, try to plug in a lamp to another lamp. What?
I'm like, that's a great analogy. I can see you studied philosophy at Cambridge.
Outy holes, any holes.
The world started with Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. I'm like,
You are so fucking clever.
That is, oh my God, I have changed my mind now.
No, it didn't, but maybe
You're
Adam
right.
and Steve got together later and Eve just had a nice little arrangement going.
Oh.
Hey, my response to that is always, and I love it because I don't mean to insult anyone's religious leaning, but I'm like, hey, Adam and Eve had their shot. They kind of fucked us all over. If you ask me. And they are the ones who are like, hey, you want to eat this apple? And made God angry and like, hey, now we're out of paradise.
We just went somewhere else.
Whoa!
I'm just kidding.
I had to say
It's
Arizona.
a charming story.
If you don't know what's going on with Arizona, read. But anyways, continue. Someone was talking about something
what
clever.
were you saying?
Oh, the Japanese game show.
Oh, the Japanese game show with
Oh
the
my God.
pranks. And I want
Ritalin.
to angle into something in a second here because I need your help.
Oh, okay.
To enlist your help.
Actually,
Yes.
there was a question about said help, so yeah.
Good.
About what?
Go on.
Same at what?
Continue.
Oh,
Pretty.
this story lost all of its steam, I think, but it was very funny. Some Japanese show that, I don't know.
Show that isn't American doing stuff.
But okay, so what were some of the pranks they were doing?
Hilarious. Basically, they were like sitting at a spa, and someone just opened the door, and the whole chair just fell out into the snow. And then one of them,
Oh my God!
I've seen this one.
and then one of them, they'd actually
Chair's
turn
like
the
rocket
chair, and it
power.
has a jet propeller on the back. And the guy just all of a sudden, 2 seconds ago, he's getting like his nails done or something, and then.
And they're
he
naked,
finds him,
right? 'Cause
yeah,
they're in a
and they're
spa,
completely
and
naked, and he finds himself in this chair, just bouncing down this snow-covered hill.
With all these people skiers like watching
all
it,
these
so
skiers.
It's funny, yeah.
Ew.
They'll be sitting in these little like massage
Yeah.
chairs or something, and like they'll be like, doo,
Oh, it's hilarious.
doo, and it just like spins around and shoots them out this
Yeah,
door.
yeah,
and they're
yeah.
naked, like
I can only imagine, like, if it was me, because I'm the worst person to prank because I get physically violent, or I steal your car, something
Or
like
both.
that, or both. Just like, fuck you, and I'm taking this car. I don't know, but like there was that one where it was a guy. It was like a Halloween party, but he was dressed like Bob Vila, which always makes me think of Ian Sinclair because he dressed like not Bob Vila, Billy Mays.
Oh, Billy Mays.
And he sat down on a couch, and everyone knew that the cushion he was sitting on had an eject button thing ready for it. So he sat and he's all, yeah,
genius.
blah, blah, blah. And then he just, whoop, like a fish flying into the boat,
so
kind of,
great.
Was it like they used like an airbag
Yeah.
deployer, like
Yeah.
or something? So the guy's sitting there and something, it's like boom, and he just like rockets him off that, and he's
Yes.
like, "What the fuck?" It's
And it like really hurt him or something. But I love those. I'm just like, oh god, it's so horrible. If it happened to me, it would be like that scare
Oh,
fail where it's like,
yeah.
blah, it's like, bam! No, you just got punched
Yeah.
in the face.
So terrible.
Or you call the police like I do.
Okay, so there was a question from Steve Yurko, asking if you've ever been pranked by Brina, because Brina is a little prankster.
You know what? Unfortunately, no, but I am ready, willing,
Oh, you've
and
done
I
it now.
challenge you, Brina. Bring it.
Oh,
Bring
hell.
it. But I did hear about your
Well,
prank,
yeah, and she and I
which
are gonna
was
be-
absolute genius.
Yeah, it's great.
And you
So-
still got nothing.
I still got nothing. I have nothing for Brina.
Are you a pranker?
I have to prank her when we're at Anime Central together.
Oh, I love a good prank.
How do I'm not a pranker. What do I do? Give me some ideas,
Oh.
please. Somebody help me.
Well, are you running out of time? Because I feel like this has been going on for a while here. So.
Well, my best shot
Yeah,
is going
just
to be at Anime
October of
Central.
2008.
Yeah, this is like almost 2 years ago that she pranked me, and I haven't got it.
Like,
It
I was
a-
still an
I will help
intern.
you brainstorm
You
because
have
that
to
would
help
be.
because I am
Storming a
so
brain.
I have until the 14th of May, and that's when, or the 13th, because that's when I'm leaving for Anime
Sweetie,
Central.
you have 12 days.
Shut up.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you
12
better get on
days.
that, Tatum.
Good luck, Tatum.
Oh my. No, I
You're
haven't
not
been pranked by her, but
disappointed.
I hear she's quite the pranker.
Yeah, she's a demon.
Who else has she pranked though, other than you? She
Me, and she's gonna prank me again. I know. She's pranked everybody. She picks on her brother.
we
all
got
the
a
time.
couple of good jabs in during recording for Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, yeah.
Just a couple little jabs. We
There was
kind
one where like you were just like, "Shut up, Brina."
of yeah.
I think at one point, and she's like, "What?" He sounded like that was forced. It was too forced. Oh, nah.
She's not easy to prank. Nothing impresses her. She's so disaffected.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like Lucy. Like Lucy's just whatever.
When you are the pranking goddess, you can
And she's mad.
Turn
She's
your-
like, if you don't prank me back, you're not my friend anymore. I'm
Oh.
like, oh, no, you can't. It's not fun if you want to be pranked.
no birthday parties, nothing. If you oh my
No.
goodness. Yeah.
No. And if
But
you
maybe
think
that's a blessing in
if you think the
disguise.
pranks are bad now, imagine if you're not friends.
Oh, it's a great point. Great.
Sometimes I make them.
Every now and again.
I'm not a pranker, so I can't help you. I mean, the pranks
know,
would
I-
just like, hey, like.
And the people I could
Call the
go
cops, I
to,
don't know.
like Sabbath, for help, because Sabbath's a genius pranker. I daren't do that because that's like making a deal with the devil. I mean, Sabbath will probably give me a great idea and help me, but he will also make sure that I am pranked in the process. Like Sabbath, like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll
You
help
could set up some bogus questions for her in the panel. Like place audience members
I could
somewhere.
do that. I mean,
or,
I could. I've got some people.
Yeah,
that
but then
I
you
know
have to
that
rely on people not chickening out. You have to rely on other people.
Yeah.
You might have to pay them, kind of slip them a little something to get them to stand up with some courage. And
Little leg
Here's
hug.
a $5 bill.
yeah, here's a $5 bill.
Give
huh?
me 4 1
Go to the
back.
dealer's room, buy
I'm
yourself
gonna
a
need
box.
you to ask a tough question. Don't back down.
And they're like, I've
become
heard
like a
you on
crime-
numerous
Yeah,
interviews.
no.
Why are you talking
This
like
is
that?
my real voice.
That's a horrible voice.
What are you talking about? This is my whole family's like this.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
You don't know.
That's
Yeah,
how
I
I
do.
imagine
Yeah,
you
man.
and Bruce doing casting, right? Just like that.
We're like
In the
totally
back,
going,
yeah.
all right, come in and we want you to read for Romeo. All right, give him some more balls. Mm-hmm. Please.
That's just Bevan's directing.
Yeah, Bevan's like, you see this puppy? Yeah, you got to make this line fit or this puppy gets it.
Like, no!
I don't know why they keep letting him adopt dogs. I really don't.
I
It's
know.
very odd.
They clearly don't see his track record.
I heard that his lawnmower has been breaking down as he's been burying the dogs. No.
I don't know. I don't know. We don't talk about. We don't talk about.
Oh.
We don't talk about Bevan's methods.
No animals were hurt during this recording.
I can't say anything about this, but I will say that Bevins is a very pleasant man, and I miss my cat. Is it about that time?
It's about that time.
Seriously.
We have it is.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe
You made it!
we talked for an hour and a half. I was so nervous, about
It was more than an hour and a half. It was more like an hour and 40.
Oh my goodness. Well, I wanted to just thank you guys for having me on. What a
Thanks
treat
for-
to be on that
Giving us
anime show, and thank you guys for listening. This is awesome. This
It
is
has
really
been
cool.
a pleasure having you. I've been looking forward to this for weeks.
Oh, well, thank you guys. Thank you. And I'm so sorry. Massey is a tough act to follow, and I mean, the guy's on top of his game. What can I say?
Yes,
what
he
can I
is.
say?
He totally is.
Well,
So,
just never tell him that.
He knows.
but yeah, it's been awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you for being here, Tatum. I guess I'll see you later.
Yeah.
And be sure to listen in next week. We will have Chris Carson.
Woo!
Later.
Later, guys.